want to see any of you guys to get sick. Now, some of the animals that I have like to eat mice and like to eat worms. And our fingers kind of look like mice and worms to some of my guys. So we don't want to reach towards any animals' faces. There's a very important rule when it comes to working with animals, and that's butts don't bite. No matter what, you can't get bit by animals' butts. Never happened before, I promise. So, as I bring animals around for us to pet and touch and feel, we want to touch the back, and we want to touch the tail, okay? We don't want to reach towards any animals' faces. If you can hear my voice, clap one time. If you can hear my voice, clap 2 times. You can hear my voice, clap 1 time. Now, there's about 100 of you, and there's only 1 of me, and if you guys are all making noise while I am talking, we're only going to be able to see like 3 animals, and I brought like 12 with me. And I know you guys are going to want to see all of them. Now, my first animal is pretty cool. Her name is Rosie. Miss Rosie has 8 legs, and she has 2 big fangs, and she's poisonous. Going out of her container. So, one of you guys might have to check. You might have Rosie. I'm just kidding. She's right in my pocket. She's hanging right. But do not worry, she's going to stay in my hands the whole time. She is not going to hurt any of you guys.
5.
Now, like I said, she is poisonous, but she is less poisonous than a bee. Bees are more dangerous than her. She's actually tried to bite me a couple times, and her fangs can't even break through my skin. If she's bit me, her poison would do absolutely nothing to me. It's really deadly to crickets. And none of you guys are crickets, so you're all totally fine. I'm going to keep her in my hand the whole time. I'm going to walk around with her a little bit. Now, don't worry, she's going to stay in my hand. She's not going to go on any of you guys.
Stop screaming.
I'll show you guys what's really cool about her.
Stop. Diana. I know, right? That's what I'm thinking too.
Yes, sir. You have a question. Oh, okay. Absolutely. Now, Miss Rosie, if we looked at her, she's covering all these little hairs. And those hairs is actually how she defends herself in the wild. She doesn't use her teeth to defend herself. She doesn't spin big webs to trip up enemies that might be trying to come at her. She actually uses those hairs. If you were to go up to Miss Rosie in the wild and go, "Hey, I'm going to eat you," she'd turn around and she'd shake her butt at you. And she would flick those hairs into your face, and she would shake her butt and she'd flick those hairs, and if you got them in your eyes, it would be like getting splinters in your eyes. If you got them in your nose, it would be like getting splinters in your nose. And it helps her run away from anything that comes at her. Because if you get splinters in your eyes and your nose, you are not worried about trying to eat a tarantula. You are worried about how in pain your eyes are. Yes. Yes.
Somewhat.
I can't hear our friend. Is
5.
Question? Yes.
This is embarrassing.
Not really, because she knows that I'm not trying to eat her. She's very calm in my hands. She knows I am a friend. She only does that if she thinks that she's in danger. Yes.
I know what's the difference of a crocodile and an alligator.
We'll get to that later later on in the show. Yes. Absolutely. And the spider silk, depending on the kind of spider, they can actually make sticky lines of silk and not sticky lines of silk. Now I'm going to put Miss Rosie back. I'm going to take out something a little bit cuter for you guys. Charlie.
5.
Charlie. Now if your hand is up and your mouth is still moving, it kind of defeats the purpose of having your hand up. This is a gecko. He's a crested gecko, and he is missing something. What is he missing? His tail, absolutely. He got really scared one day and it fell off. It won't grow back. Not for this kind of gecko. There are other geckos that it does grow back. For crested geckos, if they lose it forever. Basically what happened one day is something came up to him and went boo! And when it went boo and he got scared, his tail fell off. Can you imagine if your arm fell off right there? That's basically what happened to him. Now, he's really, really strong though. He's one of the best climbers in the world. Let's see. One arm pull-ups for me, buddy. One arm pull-up. Come here. There we go. He's a very good climber, but the thing is, he can't climb up glass. He can't climb up really smooth surfaces. He's good. What's the dot on his neck? That's actually his ear hole. Right there. He's got one on either side. He doesn't have big ears like people. He has little holes in the side of his head. Now, if your eyes get itchy, what do? You usually rub them or get eye drops or something. Or you blink your eyes too. Whenever you get stuff in your eyes, you blink your eyes. He cannot blink his eyes. If he gets stuff in his eyes, he licks his eyeballs clean. He sticks out his tongue and licks his eyeballs like a little windshield wiper. You will always lose a staring contest with a crested gecko because he has absolutely no eyelids. I'm going to bring him around for us to look up close. Now I'm going to warn you guys, there is a chance that he will jump from my hands as I bring him around. He does do that from time to time. You might land on your head, you might land on your chest. If he does, you'll be totally fine. I'll scoop him right back off of you. That was very confusing for me because I feel like, yes.
Oh my god. Why? How can they even get their tails? Their tails can't.
Yeah, they actually, not really. They actually have special veins and blood vessels that when they get scared, they seize up really tight and it pinches itself off and falls off. The tail actually does move for up to 30 minutes after it falls off. The tail will wiggle, 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 and it'll look like a worm. And it'll distract whatever might be trying to eat the gecko so he can run away. Yes? Look at this. Now, I am going to bring Charlie back.
Stop. Rookie.
He's cute.
Guys, relax. Relax.
Once it falls out, you still waiting for say 30 minutes.
Yeah, like 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes, can he be glued back since it's still wiggling?
And once it falls off, they actually they like close off veins and capillaries in the end of their tail. It's like a quick clotting mechanism, and it's just almost instantly a closed wound. It couldn't be reattached at all. There's no time.
Oh, that one. Oh,
5. Go sit. Yemisi, sit down.
Snake. Now, this is a very special kind of snake. It is not a poisonous snake. Yes. He is what's called
Third grade.
If you do not want to touch, just keep your hands in your lap. If you do, feel free to reach up and touch midnight. Very smooth on your bottom, and I'll bring her around to you.
Calm down, Kyle. You want to pet him, right?
No! Anything snake, my daughter, no, I don't want to see because I don't mind. Bro, I can't.
There's a reason we don't bring circuses here.
I can't. Bro.
They're very nice.
Listening.
Now, Midnight is a king snake, which is a very, very special kind of snake. Midnight is not poisonous. She is what's called a constrictor, which means she squeezes her prey super tight and swallows it in one big bite. She gives really, really good hugs one time. Now, what she does is well, you're a little bit too big for her to eat. She mainly will eat mice and small rats right now. Now, the coolest thing about Midnight is that she actually eats poisonous snakes. Copperheads and rattlesnakes, the poison doesn't hurt them. Yes. That's what makes it so big. This is not a big snake at all. This is a very small snake.
5.
I'd be in for a treat. Yes.
So is the anaconda like lady
Exactly. Well, she is. She's immune to venom. The poisons of rattlesnakes and copperheads and other poisons don't hurt her. Yes.
Like when a king snake and a poisonous snake like battle each other, do they like squeeze each other so then the king snake would just eat it whole?
Absolutely. Well, the poisonous snake always loses because the poisonous snake kills its prey by biting it and injecting its poison. Its poison doesn't hurt the king snake. And the king snake kills by squeezing and is a lot stronger. Poisonous snakes aren't very strong. They rely on their poison to hunt. They don't rely on the strength of their body. Yes?
So can a king snake be the anaconda?
No, an anaconda is not a poisonous snake. It is also a constrictor like this. King snakes in general don't get as big, but there are so many different kinds of king snakes. You can get them in almost any color. You can get them in Christmas colors. You can get them in Halloween colors. You can get them black, white, tan, all leopard print, cheetah print, zebra print, anything you want. Yes. We have a friend asking me a question. I cannot hear him at all.
3-1.
So when it comes to copperhead, does it get bigger and bigger?
He does get bigger and bigger, but snakes actually get bigger and bigger every time they shed their skin. Every couple of months, all of their skin comes off. Even their eyeballs. They have scales on top of their eyeballs that peel off. And everything from the tip of their tail down to the tip of their nose will just come off in one big piece as a snake skin. And every time they shed, they get a little bigger. The coolest thing about snakes is if we grew like snakes, we'd all be 30 feet tall when we die. Snakes never stop growing for their entire lives. For as long as they live, they're always getting longer and longer and bigger. Yes? How sharp is his teeth? His teeth, he doesn't have big fangs. He actually has a couple really, really small needle-like teeth. This is just a little baby. You don't really have to be
Quiet. Be quiet. Thank you.
3-1.
Now, this is Rudder, and he is a baby American alligator. And even though he's just a little baby, his bite is strong enough that he could take somebody's finger off. Whereas his mom is actually way down south in Virginia. We don't have the mommies and daddies because the mommies and daddies are 16 to 19 feet long, and that is much too big for me to hold in my arms safely. Yes? Huh? No, I'm not sure where in Virginia. We actually have an agreement with a big conservatory that we take the little baby alligators and raise them up until they get about 5 or 6 feet long, and then they're able to protect themselves from all the bigger alligators, and then the conservatory gets them back. So we raise the babies for them, and then they take care of them for the rest of their lives. Yes? Absolutely. They've got small little teeth that are pointed towards the back of their mouth so that once they bite onto you, you can't pull out of their mouth. Yes? No, I didn't actually take them from the mother. The people down there got him and sent him up to us. Now, hey, will you keep your mouth open, please? Now, if we look inside his mouth, we can see he has a pretty big tongue, but his tongue is actually pretty weird. It's attached to the bottom of his mouth.
That's so cool. 3rd grade. Calm down.
He thinks he's really tough. How long? I'm holding his mouth open because otherwise he'll just shut it. And you won't be able to see his tongue. From that table to me is how big he will definitely get. The biggest one, 17, 18, 19 feet long. And even up to 20 on the really, really big males. When they're full grown, they will actually have the most powerful bite force in the world. A full-grown American alligator has a stronger bite than great white sharks, than lions, than bears, than snappy turtles, than anything else you can think of in the world. This guy will have a more powerful bite, yes. He is an alligator. Close. Yes. Probably crocodiles, actually, because of how big they are. Crocodiles are about 23 feet long. Their size is a lot bigger. We can't answer everybody's questions. Yes?
The alligator's teeth, when the toxin makes it down out of the mouth, and the crocodile's teeth makes it up.
Very good. An alligator's teeth stick out from the top of his mouth. The crocodile's teeth actually stick out from the top and the bottom. Also, alligators' mouths are round like the letter U, and crocodiles' mouths are pointy like a letter V. Now, I am going to put Mr. Rudder back. We can all say bye to Rudder. I really don't want to get bit by her today. I get bit by a lot of animals every day. This is not an animal that I enjoy getting bit by.
So your voices are off.
Now, she is about 8 months old right now, and she is a skunk, and her favorite thing in the world is to spray on you guys. Don't worry, she's not going to spray. She's actually had the glands that let her spray have been removed, so she can't spray on anybody. Now, believe it or not, she actually can't see almost any of you. She can only see 10 feet in front of her face. After that, she can't see anything. She relies on her ears and her nose to find things. Now, you guys know what skunks do, right? They spray. Everyone has probably smelled a skunk on the side of the road at least one time in their life. Now, that skunk spray, though, is one of the most powerful defenses in all of the animal kingdom. Even bears won't mess with skunks. The skunk spray can fend off just about any animal in the world. The only thing that hunts these guys is a great horned owl. The great horned owl is the only thing that can sneak up on them quietly enough and then bring them up into a tree before they even know what's going on. Now, does anybody here know why a skunk is black and white? Why do you think?
God, listen.
Not quite. What do you think? Not camouflage, it's actually the exact opposite of camouflage. It's actually a very vibrant marking to warn other animals that the skunk is not something you want to mess with. If the skunk was brown and green and dark colors, it would be a camouflage to help him hide. But the skunk doesn't want to hide. The skunk wants everybody to know where he is all the time. So much so that their tail is even a little flag. Watch. Now, Oreo's pretty short, so if Oreo's walking through some tall grass, you wouldn't really be able to see her. She's black and white like an Oreo. But, watch your tail. Sticks straight up in the air, and you can see that above the grass, and you'd know, hey, there's a skunk there. I don't want to go over there, because otherwise I will smell for weeks.
Calm down. Calm down.
Now, if we look, she has big claws. What do you think they... Oh, that's totally fine. She scratches me all the time. It doesn't bother me. What do you think she uses her big claws for? Yes.
To kill animals.
Not quite. What do you think?
To climb stuff.
Not to climb. She's actually terrible at climbing. She'll try and climb up something and then she'll fall on her back. She's not a very good climber. What do you think?
She climbs like me.
To move? Well, yes. She uses her feet and her claws to move.
Sometimes when there's a high cliff, she uses her claws to stick it inside the cliff.
Not quite. What do you think? To make her den or home, absolutely. She uses her big claws to dig. She is an amazing digger and can dig giant burrows in just a matter of minutes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've been sprayed by a skunk, and everything that people tell you that says, oh, this will help you with the skunk spray, nothing really does. It helps a little bit, but you still smell like skunks for a very long time. Skunk spray is one of the most potent things in the world. It's actually like sulfur. It has a sulfur base, which if you've ever smelled like that really rotten egg smell, if you're driving down the road and all of a sudden it smells like rotten eggs, that's sulfur, and it's actually the same stuff that the skunk spray is made out of. Yes, and it's super concentrated on the skunk.
I heard that the skunks eat the special type of cabbage to make their spray.
Not really. They can eat certain things that will definitely increase the potency of it, but there isn't anything specific they need to eat just so they're able to spray. Now, what do we think that they eat? What do you think they eat?
I have a question.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Are they affected by other skunk spray?
Not really. Skunks tend to leave each other alone. Until they want to go mate and make more skunks, they don't really encounter many skunks in the wild. They have big territories that only they live in. They kind of live by themselves, yes. No worries. If you remember, raise your hand again. Yes.
Nazir.
So, a skunk even could take on a king snake?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing really messes with these guys. And the skunk actually would try to eat the king snake. The skunk absolutely will try and eat the king snake. Yes. What do you think?
So, people say skunk and porcupines are friendly to each other.
Not really. Skunks are very mean to just about everything in the world. The moment something comes up to a skunk, it starts stomping its feet on the ground and hissing, and then it turns around and it tries to spray you in the face with its nasty spray. Now, what do we think they eat? We already told you that it eats snakes. What do you think?
Mice.
Mice, absolutely. Frogs, absolutely. Insects, absolutely. Yeah. Rats? Sure, if you can find a small enough rat. But you might actually fight a rat and try and eat him. He is actually what's called an omnivore. That means skunks will eat everything. Absolutely. What you doing? Now, I'm going to put Alligator snapping turtle. Now, snapping turtles are really well known for biting, right? But he's a little small. If I can take him, I can tickle him on the nose. I can tickle his chin. I can tap him on the head, and he just hides. Because of this, Nibbler's really scared because he's so little. He's not big enough to be a big, tough snapping turtle. So, I bring his big brother around, Chomper. Bam. He will bite just about anything in the world that touches his mouth, even his own legs. He thinks anything in the world that touches his mouth is food. He's not peeing. He lives in the water and he's a little wet, so he's gonna have a little water dripping off of him. If he was peeing, it would be a lot more. It would be almost like a little water bottle. We're not gonna pet him because we don't want you to put your fingers anywhere near this mouth. Now, believe it or not, he is actually a baby. He's only 5 years old. Oh yeah. When he is all done growing, he will get almost 400 pounds and will be bigger around than I can make a circle with my arms. He's one of the biggest freshwater turtles in the world and also one of the absolute meanest. Now, these guys actually live for so long, they found them with Civil War bullets in their shells. They live for a tremendous amount of time, almost 200 years, is how long he will live for. Now, if we look at his shell, it's all spiky, right? And you guys have probably seen other turtles that have very smooth shells and rounded. Why do we think his shell is all spiky? Well, his shell does protect it, but it's not why it's spiky. Not really. What do you think?
So when an enemy comes, it's going to poke you?
No. What his shell is actually used for is to collect dirt and to collect moss and to collect plants, and it makes him hide really, really well. It helps gather things to camouflage himself. Because what he has in his mouth is he has a little tongue that looks like a worm, and he sits at the bottom of a lake, at the bottom of a pond, bottom of a river, and he opens his mouth and does not move, and he wiggles his tongue out. And it looks like a worm. And he waits for a fish to come along and try and eat that worm. And when it does, he goes chomp and swallows it in one giant bite. Now he wouldn't be able to hunt for the fish if he was very easily seen. He missed. He tried to bite himself in the leg, but he missed. Are you gonna do it again? Don't. You shouldn't do that. It's not good for you. It's not good for you to bite yourself. You can try and bite me, that's fine, but don't bite yourself. He actually bites himself in the legs all the time. I have 7 of these guys at home, and each and every one of them, all the way from the little ones to the big ones, bite themselves. He sometimes gets an injury, and sometimes he starts to bleed a little bit, but then it heals back up within a day or 2, and he's fine. They are tough little guys. Yeah. They are very curious. You see, he just bit himself good. He's not very smart. A little bit. He does have a very dinosaur look to him. Now, I am going to put him away, and we have time for one more big hand.
Yeah, you come back on.
Now, this is Miss Patches. She is a Burmese python, and believe it or not, she is half.
Videotaping yourself.
She's going to be 27 feet long, over twice as long as she is now, when she is all done growing.
Miss Figura, be careful. Miss Figura.
Probably.
Detail.
And the reason, though, that she's going to get so big is because she's a girl. If she was a boy, she'd only get to be about 4 feet long. Sorry, girls. The girls get to be a lot bigger and tougher than the guys.
Yeah, she's okay. She wants to touch it. What? This man is something else.
I have been working with these snakes for 15 years.
Oh, boy.
I have been working with these guys for longer than those 2 have been alive. And never
See what he's doing?
has one of these snakes ever bit me. I have never been bitten by this species of snake. They are known to be one of the nicest snakes in the world. Hey, he's getting a little pissed.
Write it down. I can't. Some people eat snakes.
I did the two things.
Some people eat some snakes. So there are people pass out with this one.
Don't worry, boys and girls. She only eats people if you're wearing a yellow shirt. We can't do everyone touching his head. Alright, quiet. 5. We're not going to touch the head. She is very heavy. She's about 50 pounds. Now, this is not a normal color for Burmese python.
Listen.
Normally, they have a leopard print pattern. The same colors, but in a leopard pattern. She is what's called a granite morph. Snakes are kind of like cats. Cats, when they have babies, all the kittens come out different colors, and sometimes the kittens have colors that neither the mom or the dad have. Snakes are the exact same way, and each and every time they come out a different than normal color, it's called a morph. There's all kinds of morphs. You can get them looking like tigers. You can make it look like somebody just took a tiger skin and put it on top of a snake. You get all kinds of crazy different color patterns. Yes? How old? She is about 4 years old right now. She will live to be about 20 years old. And like I said, get about 25 to 27 feet. Yes. Yeah.
Gabriel, listen.
That's cool. Yes. No, not at all. She is not choking me. She is holding on to me. She knows that I am much too big for her to eat, and she's just trying to hold on to me. I am very warm, and she is... They do, yes. They are... They are constrictors, but they she knows that I'm too big for her to eat, and she's very lazy. She doesn't want to use the energy it would take to actually try and constrict me, especially if I'm too big for her to eat, and that'd be food. Yes. No, not at all. Miss Patches eats about once a month. She eats one big meal every month. Usually it's about 2 or 3 rabbits, maybe a couple guinea pigs or some large rats. None of them are alive. Yes, we do. They are animals though that are bred specifically to be snake food. Yes. Huh? Well, if you want to feel one more time, then everybody else wants to feel one more time. And we just don't have time. Yes, all the way in the back. I cannot hear a friend who's asking me a question. Yes.
She's 4 years old. How can she be so?
Come on.
This is how quick she grows. The more I feed her, the faster she grows, and we've been feeding her quite a bit. Sometimes we try and feed her every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks, and try and feed her more often than she needs to be so she gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Because I like having really big snakes. And believe it or not, she's not even my biggest snake that I have by a long shot. I have snakes that are a good 5 or 6 feet longer than her and weigh almost 100 pounds. Sometimes, the closest that I've I've ever been to having this snake bite me is she's actually blind. She has what's called cataracts in both of her eyes, and she has missed her dinner and almost hit me. But she never, ever, ever has even hissed at me. She's never tried to strike me. Very, very infrequently does this species of snake ever try to bite people. Usually when they do, they're mistaken for food. I'll be handling rats or something and she can smell the animals on me and she thinks that it's feeding time. And then she realizes, oh no, it's just Mr. Will, and then goes back to being very friendly. Yes?
You can do research on that. You can do research.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, the anaconda gets a lot bigger than python. Anacondas are actually an insanely dangerous snake. I used to have an anaconda. I will never have another anaconda. I had an anaconda that was 5 feet long. Less than half of her size. It bit my arm and wrapped around my arm, and it took me 45 minutes to get it off of my arm. At 5 feet long, it is insanely strong. And this is a snake that at this size I could still overpower, and the anaconda, less than half of its size, took me 45 minutes just to get it off of my arm.
I think it's Will.
Oh no, she's just holding on.
Will?
Yes.
Huh?
Oh, this one. She is much bigger than any king snake. King snakes do not get to be very large. Now, last question is going to be you. Yes? She is not poisonous. She is a constrictor. She likes to squeeze. You see how she's squeezing on my neck? She's not choking me. She's just holding on to it.
Five.
I like you guys. As we leave, I will hold Marshmallow and you guys can pet as we go. Now, like I was saying, if you guys want to come, you got your birthday party, you could just come right in and look at all my animals. You can see all kinds of crazy stuff, like Mr. Marshmallow. I actually have 8 different chinchillas in total. I have black ones, gray ones, tan ones, white ones, salt and pepper ones, big ones, small ones, all kinds of crazy chinchillas. Hedgehogs, all different kinds of snakes. I even have some poisonous snakes. How are you doing, buddy? Before you guys go off to continue the rest of your day, okay? And
Thank you.
on to you. Thank you guys so very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope you guys have